Hey, what up, though, people? It's your boy, Detroit Kool-Aid. Welcome to Woodward Pistons, and I'm rocking out with your boy, Mr. Everything, Jeff Iafrady.
What it do?
Bro, are you able to tell people the news yet or anything? Or we still let it be a surprise?
They'll announce it Friday. I know now that I'm saying that, you probably, if you watch Woodward Sports, you probably already know then what the news is. We got some big things. We got some big things cooking up, but it doesn't change anything that I'm doing currently. So
hey, proud of him too.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. Hey, that's my guy.
Let's get it. Hey, man, what else do we have? Jalen Rose.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about that just briefly. And but before we get into that, let's definitely make sure we do the drum roll for Mr. Rob Beard.
We'd be disrespectful if we did it.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, to the legend, Mr. Detroit News, Rob Beard. And listen, next week, he's definitely going to be on. This morning, I'll take that on me. I had literally, bro, a raccoon underneath the hood of my car.
That's tough.
Literally, man. It is, yeah. But look, we got things figured out, and we're going to try and have a great show. Because Pistons basketball really is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. I was sitting here like, yo, it's effectively September. That means NBA basketball is what, a few months away? Or less than that?
Yeah.
With preseason? Because, bro, you already know how it is. You already know. I'm gonna be absorbing, bro, consuming all preseason basketball like it matters. You guys are gonna have to tell me, bro, preseason basketball don't matter. The wins and losses, I'm ready for it. It's been too long. How long has it been since we had a team with this much promise? And we can't say last year's team with Cade.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it might have been like trying to watch Brandon Jennings and Andre Drummond for me in the preseason. But now it's different because this team is young. There's a lot more potential there, and we have like legitimate guys, two guys at least that can become all-star, superstars in this league. So it's just different now, man. It's
like
different,
that. And who are the guys? Because you adamantly changed that all-star to superstar, which I believe is the crucial point here.
Yeah, it is.
We're not. I think people, whether they agree with our takes or not, I believe it is important to make sure you differentiate or at least make known your perspective. We believe that Cade Cunningham and I assume Cade and Ivey are superstar level talents.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham put it on paper last year.
He did.
Cade and Ivey has the skill sets and the tools and was aptly, judged at the top of the draft, one of the top 5 prospects for a reason. And so we're hoping that translates. We're not going to, I don't know, man, state that he's going to come in year one and be that guy year one, but he is a superstar level talent. All the measurables, the free throw rate, man, at college, I don't know how much we take away from Summer League, but he was getting calls there.
Yeah.
And as he comes into the NBA, I think we're going to see the same thing. I can't wait, dog. I can't wait.
So I think they have multiple guys that can be all-stars. I think Sadiq has the potential. Now, will he make an all-star game in his career? I don't know. But I think he has the skill set to do it. But that's why I changed it. Because 2 guys for sure. Who knows with Duren? I think Duren's another guy we don't talk about enough. He could be, who knows what he could develop into. But like you said before, there's a difference between all-star and superstar.
Yep.
All-star, you guys make the all-star team, and then they don't. Superstars consistently make the all-star team. So
right.
There's the difference.
Yeah, because all-stars, sometimes it could be, and you talked about Sadiq Bey, they can be guys that are deserving to be there.
Right.
But sometimes they're there because their team had the success.
Or injuries and they replace somebody.
Or injuries and replacements. And then there's those guys who, even if their team sucks, they're going to the all-star game. Yeah. I believe that's the level that Cade is. I believe that's the level we will see Cade and Ivey approach within I would say about 3.
Yeah.
By year 3, year 4, I'm hoping if he's the guy that we believe he is, that he should be firmly, we want to see him in All-Star game every single year. Even if he's not voted in, people would know if he's not there, it's a snub. And to see someone like a LaMelo Ball get in on his, first year's? Second year, I'm sorry, his second year as an injury replacement.
Yeah, replace Kevin Durant, I think.
But still his second year, man, in the All-Star game. I don't know who's going to wind up being the far and away better talent or prospect between like Ivy and LaMelo. I would put personally my money on Ivy, but if they can take that type of leap in year 2, Ivy and Cade in years 2 and 3 next year should firmly firmly be able to take an all-star level leap.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of that depends on the guys around him as well. Like the Hornets, you talk about LaMelo, but they still won 40 games. So, I mean, they made the play-in, but they were still that's why LaMelo made it. You had Miles Bridges, 25 points. If this team is collectively good and they're winning games and Cade's putting up 21, 22, 6-6, or 7-7, dude, he's an all-star.
Yeah, so if the Hornets weren't winning, he doesn't get that acknowledgement, that honor.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
right, and that's the thing. I think Saddiq Bey, I believe for the Pistons to be championship level, you want 3 of those guys who are superstar, or every year they're able to make the all-star game. 2 of those guys have to be surefire. Yeah. We're talking about championships. And we hear the way that guys talk, whether you're signing superstars or whether you're drafting them like the Warriors, you got to have them. You have to. You have to be able to compete.
Yeah, it's a superstar-driven league, man.
It is. And it's interesting to see how it's changed, because these superstars are more focused today on playmaking in droves. Not that we haven't had superstars in years past, but we see the big men, we see the forwards, we see the point guards, we see the shooting guards. Everybody is focused now on making sure that they can be efficient. Like at least a play style. They're at least make sure they can be a catch and shooter. They're making sure they can make a little bit. They're making sure they have a little bit in the intermediary. It's interesting to see the evolution of the basketball player.
Yeah, and just the NBA in general. Like everything's so positionless now. Yep. Like back then, if you were a center, you did this, and this. If you were a point guard, if you were a 2 guard, whatever it was, a forward, you do this. Now it's like all 5 people on the court have to do all the same things. Yep. You have to be able to pass, shoot, be efficient offensively, make plays, play defense. Like you're held accountable, and that's why Cade is he's like a today NBA superstar. Like he can do everything. He has a complete game, and that's what separates, I think, him from other people in his own class as well. So Evan Mobley's a great example. I mean, the guy's 6'11", but he could do guard things. Like it's incredible. And then you have Chet Holmgren this year, who's another type of player like that. Yep. Positionless.
Yep. And that's what leads me to really, really, really side with Jalen Rose on his notion that Cade Cunningham and Cade and Ivey are the next Pistons backcourt, the next all-star Pistons backcourt. I believe that definitely for sure, and superstar even more so. Now, the reason why that would be something interesting is because I don't believe the Pistons have had a superstar backcourt ever, so that would be the first time. Have they had superstar players? I believe Isaiah Thomas is a superstar, no matter what fans, NBA, and all this. I don't care. Isaiah Thomas was a superstar, straight up. And with the going to work Pistons, they were an all-star backcourt, but they weren't necessarily a superstar backcourt. Right. I believe that Chauncey Billups had superstar talent because he could do multiple things. He could be a shooting guard. He could be a point guard. They even put him in as a small ball 3 in certain lineups, and he could handle it. He can get into the post. He can get into the paint. He can get layups. He can get floaters, threes, end of games. I'm taking over. He had the talent, but he was best and most efficient and best utilized when he was fitting into a team and directing more as a general. Right. So that was more like addition by subtraction in his own game. But this would be the first time that the Pistons have an opportunity with the athleticism, with the three-point shooting, with the playmaking, with the pizzazz, with what we've already seen from Cade, which pulls this in a good direction already. We have an opportunity to see the Pistons, I believe, first superstar backcourt. That excites me. That's why I'm hoping to see Cade and Ivey hit the ground running. I like that first summer league game where we saw him kind of like, man, how's it gonna go? I'm hoping Cade and Ivey understands no one can run with you, bro. No one can jump with you, bro. Nobody in this league. We saw Jalen Green come in, and because he had that tick already in his head, even though he wasn't shooting well early, he was running past people and he was jumping over everybody. And Cade and Ivey has that twitch, man. If he just comes in and just reckless abandon, throw caution at the wind and just go, I think we're going to see a Cade and Ivey who's going to come in and have a better impact than we've seen Killian Hayes have on this team so far. Yeah,
and that's what separates him is athleticism. And I'm glad you brought up the Jalen Rose quote, because reading it, and he talked about his biological father too, Jimmy Walker, Dave Bang, all-star backcourt, Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas. It's almost like the progression. You have Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, 2 guys that, Pistons legends, number one. We got Rip and Chauncey above, Kool-Aid over there. We have his jersey signed in the studio, subtle flex, by the way. But that's the next backcourt. And now we have, like you said, a potential superstar backcourt, something we haven't really had. I mean, you bring up superstars. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas was a superstar. Joe Dumars, you think he has that superstar potential like Cade and Ivey? We'll see. If he has a career like Joe Dumars, I think we'd all be happy. But I think there's a higher upside there.
Extremely happy.
So to your point, I agree. And the fact that, and Deuce brought this up, and I'm always going to give credit to Deuce.
Yeah. Every
time the Pistons have had success, they've had a backcourt, an all-star backcourt, caliber backcourt.
Shout out D-Mac.
Yeah, shout out D-Mac. And that's the thing. So this is the right way to do it, and this is why I love Troy Weaver, because he gets it, man. Like, he really does. He's like, listen, I get we drafted Killian. Boom, boom. Cade, Jaden, Ivey.
Yep.
Like, it's a GM who gets it, and I'm excited, and I agree with you. This is going to be the first superstar backcourt.
And all we have to do realistically is sit down and look at the blueprint and realize with these other players and Eagles or this or that, what if he could have sat the old OKC team down and said, hey, guys, look, see these old 4 Pistons? You see how they did it? You see even the guys off the bench getting 20 and 25 and 30 minutes and Corliss and Lindsey and Mike James. Them boys are eating.
Yeah.
Can y'all please do this for a championship? Can you please do this for your legacy? Look, bro, the Pistons did it for a few years before Joe Dumars took a sledgehammer to it. And he didn't know what he was doing. I give him that pass. It hurt at the time, but looking at the arc of things, Joe Dumars is somebody that needs to be celebrated. He just does. But look how quickly things went awry, bro. Just when you messed with that little nucleus, you realize that it was more than the talent. It was their heart, their connectivity, their brotherhood, their teamwork.
Their love for the city, too.
Their love for the city, man.
Yeah.
Bro, the fact that they're still, you see how connected they are. Even after they went to other teams, you could see, I was looking at Ben Wallace on other teams and Rasheed Wallace on other teams. When they would play each other, just, bro, the connection. Yeah. And even what we see today when they get together at some of these games, some of these events, it's awesome. You can see that was a thread. And if Troy is truly doing a restoration, then it is about sitting these guys down and showing them. These teams had all-stars off the bench, potential all-stars, potential starters coming off the bench who understood their role. And you know who was keen? You know who watched those 04 Pistons? Bro, that is so dope, by the way.
Shout out. I had to rep it for today. Yeah, Thank you.
Goodness, boy, I've hated it for years looking at people like the Big Three Heat and LeBron James and what they did. But, bro, they were fans. They watched the 04 Pistons. And they talk about it. Dwayne Wade talks about it, man. They watched those squads. How would they not? Those squads were just starting to get on. Right when they were in high school watching basketball, getting ready to come to the NBA, bro. LeBron was sitting in the stands at these playoff runs.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They came out, put their egos aside and said, let's rock. And they got championships because of it. LeBron's legacy, no matter what anybody thinks, he has championships, man. And he proved to be the best player in a lot of these series. And for me, people will know me. Look, I have some fun with LeBron James, or probably at the expense of myself, because there's nothing I can do to ding his legacy, bro.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is, man. These guys followed the to me the same pattern. And who would be keenly familiar with that? Pat Riley, who was the GM at that time, and who was getting beat by the Pistons a little bit during that time.
Yeah.
So,
and that was the thing, man. That Miami Heat team, they had 3 guys that were number 1 options.
Yep.
And I think there was a difference because with this Pistons team, like, it was more guys that were, acquired and grouped together to all work together. It's not like Rip and Chauncey were just number 1 options everywhere else, but they were good. They were talented players who learned how to play the right way and play for the betterment of their own team and for success. And I think that's, like, to your point, man, other teams still look at that. Like, even if it was almost 20 years ago, teams now are still going to reflect back on that and be like, listen, look how these guys did it. Look how they did it mentally and what they did together. It's a great example for all teams, man. And that's why, like, even in Detroit, we talk about Detroit versus everybody. That 04 team, bro, it's bigger than just Detroit. Like, that's a national, recognition, a national salute. Yep. Like Kobe and everybody, rest in peace Kobe, but everyone's given praise to that team. So they set the example. They really did. They laid the foundation.
For a lot moving forward. And, that playing the right way, that's something that you hear a lot of players saying. You hear it more and more and more now culturally that, coming up on the scene. I didn't hear it when I was coming up playing ball like that. Not until Larry Brown and those Pistons, because Chauncey Billups was just playing the right way, playing the right way. And I love when guys can do that. When, not necessarily the playing it the right way, but Chauncey had no problem with doing what he always did, and that's give the assist. Right. Hey, you know what? Larry Brown, he's over here and he's helping me become a better player. And he also mentioned others.
And that was the era too. Like you needed that era. Jordan, and I blame Jordan and everyone before that. Magic, like it was a superstar. Everyone was understanding. Like it was Kobe, Shaq. You had Hakeem, Jordan. Like you needed superstars to win championships, and guys like listen. Kobe's like it's me and Shaq. Yeah. And then the Pistons come along, and it's like, well, it's we. Like this is what we're gonna do together. And I think everyone was like, wait, what? Because you're used to seeing Jordan, all these guys do even before Jordan, but post Jordan, the upbringing of Kobe, and you're like that's how you win.
You even had the draft class come in of LeBron, D Wade, Bosh, Melo go to different teams and elevate their teams as young superstars.
Exactly.
That was the way that the league was going, and when the Pistons punched them in the mouth,
like what,
bro? You got to think about it, man. LeBron and these boys came in watching these guys play basketball, man. These guys was probably like, These guys were probably like, you know what? How are we going to beat them?
Yeah.
LeBron was probably sitting back with his homies and Chris Paul and them like,
you got to beat all
we
five
all
of
got
them.
our own team, but how are we beating them? We got to team up to beat them. I don't know how much, oh my gosh, yo, I really wish Joe Dumars didn't dismantle that team, because I would have loved to see that team versus at the tail end of it versus the Big Three Heat. I would have loved to see that be the East, man. Yeah. Oh my goodness, because the Spurs got that.
They did.
And they got one done.
And that's another team that represents playing as a team.
Yeah, that's another one.
Spurs are another great organization.
Sheesh. Yo, listen, y'all got to tell me this. What do you think would have happened if the Going to Work Pistons were kept together? Joe Dumars kept them together, made some augmentations where need be, but kept the core together. And they got an opportunity to go against the Big Three Heat like the Spurs did.
And we get LeBron too. After that whole, what we saw, how many points he scored consecutively.
And it wouldn't have happened if he kept it. Ben Wallace was not in the middle.
Yep.
It wouldn't have happened, bro. They barely beat the Pistons with all of that. They barely. You put if not the greatest defensive player in NBA history back into the middle, that changes.
I think that series is going 6 or 7 with those two. I really do. I think that would be a tough
that's
one.
A good question, bro.
Because they are older at that point, but still, like collectively as a unit.
Because what did Chauncey do with Denver? Didn't he take a young Carmelo and they won? They won some games, man. They were a threat.
That's true. Yeah, no, I think
she went to Boston. They won a little bit. I know he was older. He wasn't the same Sheed, but I also believe that has something to do with the team.
Right.
Sheed was older when he got to Detroit. People thought Sheed was kind of already on the way out, and he just so happened to be the anti-Tracy McGrady, the anti-Chris Webber, the anti-Allen Iverson, and actually give us something at the end of his career. That's what Rasheed Wallace was. Did he play a few years after that? Sure, but he wasn't that. You could tell he had the same skill, but without us being able to bring in a Corliss Williamson to spell him for 25, 30 minutes a game, he's going to be taxed. He's going to have to come off the bench at this stage. So
I would have loved that.
Sheesh, boy, that would have been something.
Yeah.
That would have been
I got a 6 or 7 game right there series. And you could pick whoever. I mean, I'll go with obviously I
got to go with my guys, man.
Yeah. You got to go with the Pistons if you're a Pistons fan, but that'd be a tough series.
It would have been. And if there's anybody who knows how to stop, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh, it's Larry Brown. Just look at the U.S. Olympics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The man got the keys, bro.
Yeah. Just don't play him.
Look, man. Look, I like talking about that one. We got to get into that one more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Rod that, and every guest that comes on, I'm gonna ask him, look, what do you think? Because I think that's a great question, bro. That's a great one. Because if the Spurs didn't get a dub, if Dallas didn't get a dub, then it would be a little bit more like, bro, they swept 4 rings. They got 5, 6 rings. What are you talking about? But they lost a couple of those games.
Right.
I don't know.
That's the difference.
Yep. Look, we got to get back into our player breakdowns. Now, last week we did Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey. We started there, and this is for our returning players. We'll get back into the rookies as we get closer to the season, as we see some preseason games, what we expect. We're going to push them off until later with our reviews. But with the returning players, we have seen a little bit more. We know that they've been working. We've seen their workout videos. If they're going to put them out, we're going to talk about them. If they're going to play in Summer League at all, we're going to talk about it.
Them.
We're going to. If they're putting out quotes, we're going to talk about it. And we are up with Killian Hayes and Isaiah Stewart, and you added a wrinkle. Instead of just an area of improvement, we said let's go one area of improvement on defense and on offense, which is interesting because we have 2 players here who defensively, I believe they both took some steps forward in the past season. I really do. It's some good leaps forward in the past season. Killian was dependable. He was our most dependable perimeter defender. And Isaiah Stewart took steps forward as it relates to perimeter defense, as it relates to, I think, paint defense as well. He needs to take another leap forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more size or metrics or measurables or if it's a skill set that can be taught. But I think he has the ability to take that step forward and be even more tenacious in the paint than he's already shown to be. But these guys took some steps forward. I wanted to start with you, bro. Which player did you want to start with, man?
Start with Killian.
Killian?
Yeah. Let's Killian.
Rock. Let's rock.
For me, I'll start offensively. I think with Killian Hayes, obviously it's the efficiency. We can talk about that all day. His shooting ability, especially playing with guys like now Jaden and Cade, you're going to get more open shots. And we kind of went through the advanced stats. We were chopping it up before the show.
Yep.
And he is good off ball. He can get better, obviously, 26% from three for the year last year. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. His outside shot, he's going to get more open looks. Can he knock him down? And I think the more he can be the more he can be consistent off ball, he's going to have more opportunities to play, like we talked about in that 3-guard lineup. Because I know what Killian's going to bring in playmaking ability, so I'm not really questioning that. The other thing I would say also is finishing through contact. Like that was the thing I looked at, and that's more. Maybe it's a mindset thing. Maybe it's physically, and I know he's getting stronger, and you see what he's been working on in the summer. But I want to see him finish through contact, be more consistent at the rim. Maybe he adds a mid-range game a little bit, but other than that, it's being able to knock down shots when you're off ball, off the dribble as well. I think that's something he can work on. But yeah, it's really your shooting and your finishing, being more confident finishing at the rim. Because you see a lot. I mean, you're 6'5", Kill, and you got long wingspan, bro. You can when you're going at the rim like that. Trust me, you're going to be just fine. There's guys that are like, Isaiah Thomas, who's 5'8", man. Remember Isaiah Thomas? He isn't in the league no more, but he's on a couple rosters. That man was finishing. Watch him with the Boston Celtics a couple years ago, before he had that hip injury. Like, it's all about heart and mindset, and Killian can get there. So those are the two things I got for Killian. Defensively, he's already solid. The one thing, and it's really nitpicking for me at this point, is probably just knowing when to reach.
Fouls,
fouls, because Killian, when you have that mindset, like, and I'm not comparing pickup game to Killian, but when you can strip the ball and you've got one or two steals, you're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
And I think that's Killian's thing. Like, yeah, you can listen.
And bring that basketball mindset, bro. You don't got to apologize for it. We all play ball, man.
And that's the same thing. Like, you're like, all right, I'm feeling it. I know his tendencies. I can get this. I can get this ball, man. But sometimes, and you saw it against Trae Young in the pickup game he played, man. Like Trae Young, and he cooked him. And listen, it's Trae Young. But if you watch the video, what stood out to me is he reached. Trae Young hit him with it was almost like a crossover, and he reached. And then that's when Trae Young was like, I got you. Because he was waiting for that. And boom, create space, knockdown. And that's just a pickup game. So think about that when it comes to an actual regular season game. You know what?
Killian looked tight in that clip. And you know why I know? Because when we look at the NBA clips, when he's guarding Trae Young, he's not playing defense that sloppy.
No, he's not.
He's not at all.
And that's the thing, too. Like, we know what happened last season against Trae Young. So he locked him up. But really, that's the one thing I noticed, because that was something I saw Killian do last year, too.
Couple little...
Yes, like knowing when to reach. It's not, because Killian, as talented as he is defensively, it's being disciplined. I think he can do more of that. So, but that's him learning, though. It's not too much of a concern. But if I had to put two little pinpoints on Killian, it's his shooting ability, finishing through contact. It's really mentally his confidence. Because listen, I want Killian to take at least 10 shots a game. Like, give me 8 to 10 every single game. If you play 25 minutes a night and you leave with 4 shot attempts,
couple shots a quarter. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you finish a game, you play 25 minutes, Kool-Aid, and you end with 4 shots, I'm going to be disappointed. You got to be more aggressive. That's my problem with Killian.
Even if the field goals attempted at the end of the game are like 7 or 8, but you have 5 free throws, 4 free throws,
exactly.
I can live with that.
Get to the line.
Aggressive, you're getting to the line.
Yep.
And the thing is this. When you're an aggressive point guard, you don't have to necessarily try to be finishing to get free throws. How many times did we see Chauncey Billups, because the Pistons were in the penalty or in the bonus, or him get them there because he was making quick, decisive moves? Like, I remember Chauncey, man, he had a way to be able to, at the top of the key, have the ball, turn around, put someone on their hip, and then literally spin out of it and just go. And every time that guard would have to grab him to stop or reach or something like that. And boom, that's a foul. It's like Chauncey knew I can put that one foul on him. Just being aggressive like that can get your team into the penalty, into the bonus. There's a lot of times when players, and I saw this, man, in the advanced stats. When players are pressed up on Killian, when there's 2 feet of space or less, is when Killian is the worst. And that means that there's more contact, there's more physicality, there's more for him to think about and things of that nature. And he starts to shy away, and all his percentages went down. And if players know we have a couple fouls to play with and we can get him completely off his game, bro, they can do things like while he's trying to get into his moves, while he's trying to get into his breaks, hard foul him.
Right.
Keep him outside of, hey, it's not a shooting foul. These types of things for a player like Killian, who needs rhythm, who needs confidence, who needs to see the shot go in, but all of a sudden people are bossing up on you. That's the stuff. It's like, nah, Killian, bro, you're going to have to boss back up too. And I believe he has it. We see it. But you're going to have that confidence from the get-go. And I believe that being able to stay on the court by not reaching, that matters, man. How many times have we seen him go on a little run, but then he's coming out because of foul trouble? You know, we've seen that several times. He go on those little third quarter runs, but then bloop, 4 fouls or something. Getting busy in the second quarter, boom, gets the second or third foul. You know, and so it's important, man. It's momentum. It's how you can even effectively defend. What if Killian wants to defend aggressively late in games, but you got multiple fouls, or
you're in the bonus?
Put the team in the bonus, the other team.
Giving up free throws.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like we talk about Cade and how, you know, you'd like him to get his fouls down for next year. He averaged 3.1 fouls per game. Killian was at 2.8, so he isn't much better. They're both. And again, those are young players. I'm not too concerned about it, but to your point, you got to learn what to do when guys are on you, playing aggressive, pressing, and I think you can get there. And I understand. I want to say this too. I know Killian's not a scorer, but you got to be aggressive, because as good as a playmaker as Killian is, the more you're attacking the cup and you're trying to get to the cup, more opportunities are going to open up. So as good of a passer as he is, just be aggressive. It doesn't have to take. You don't have to take shot attempts. Just get to the bucket.
Man, he only averaged 1.1 free throws a game.
Yeah, it can't happen, man.
And he made 0.9 of them. Get to the free throw line, Killian. Bro, you leaving points out there, brother. He's leaving. Think about when the team is in a bonus.
And he's a good free throw shooter, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Killian.
Damn near 80%.
This is just about aggression, man. Like, that's the one thing I was going to say is when looking at this, the couple things on offense I was looking at was his aggression when looking at some of these advanced stats, and his aggression and his ability, not necessarily an area of improvement, but an area I hope the Pistons can put Killian Hayes in more, his catch and shoot numbers. I like his catch and shoot numbers, and we talked about it beforehand. As it relates to this 3-guard rotation, we always look at it from an angle of, you know, Killian, Cade, Ivey, but Killian is going to be the absolute playmaker. But Cade is also an extremely good, probably the best playmaker, in my opinion, on this team currently.
Yeah, he makes passes that others just can't do, man.
Yep.
Like those swing passes, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
So you're right.
And I believe that Killian has a little bit more pure instinct as it relates to playmaking, but because of Cade's overall talent, there are guys open on the floor just because Cade has the ball in his hands. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and so I started realizing maybe when we're looking at these numbers here, man, with let me say him here. His catch and shoot, right? Killian's catch and shoot numbers, 2-point field goal percent, 46%. His pull-ups when he has the ball in the hand, 32%. That's a huge drop, bro. That's a huge
and that
drop.
Goes back to that repetition. It's like you're in the gym, catch, shoot. Like he feels more comfortable doing that, but
bro, his effective field goal percentage.
Oh my god!
On catch and shoot, 44%. On pull-ups, 29.2%, bro.
Okay, see, that's the difference.
So maybe the 3-guard rotation will give him an opportunity to be put in his best possible spots on the floor as well for spurts of the game. We need him to feel special. We need Killian to hit a 3, catching a pass from Cade Cunningham and getting dapped up by Ivy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of stuff that I believe the 3-guard rotation will be able to provide. It's because I don't know how much – look, will he be able to play make? Sure. But are we leaving points and opportunities out there on the court if Cade can play make and score from the point guard spot, which is something Killian Hayes is not proven to do. But Killian Hayes is proving he can catch and shoot from the off-guard position. Our maximization for that 3-guard rotation is if Cade still is the point guard and Killian and Ivy are the off guards. That's our best bet. When you're talking about basketball sets, talk about when you're running a pick and roll shade. So Cade at the top, Ivy on your right, Killian over here, and you call Duran up for a pick and roll on this side of the court. Do you know what happens to the defense on this side and how little help you have with trying to defend
make a decision.
Backcourt lob for
Business
Ivy?
Decision.
But you also have Killian over here who you have to be honest on because he can hit a three.
Right.
Those are the types of things that I'm thinking about now. Like it's interesting, man.
Picking your poison.
Yep. So I'm hoping that's something that the Pistons do to put Killian in his best position. But overall, it's the aggressiveness, man. He got to be aggressive.
Yeah. And that's without saying, we're not sitting over saying he's going to be everyone thinks like, all right, this guy's going to be sixth man of the year. He has to be aggressive. No, just more aggressive. That's all it is. Because the more aggressive he is, he's going to get to the free throw line. And you can mention it. This isn't no shade, but Diallo played less minutes and got to the free throw line double the amount. So, and I get Diallo and him are different players, but that's kind of the point we're trying to make here is Killian needs to be more aggressive. It'll open up so much more for others, and he'll have much more different chances to get just easy baskets, man. And I think playing with Jaden Ivey and Cade are going to help him get those. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah. Less pull-ups, more catch and shoots.
Yeah.
Definitely with Killian. With his defense, the reaching in, I think that's very, very paramount. I want to see him be more defensively. I that was kind of some of the same things I was going to state. Be more defensively sound, but amp up the aggression on defense. I see it in spurts.
The tenacity.
That tenacity, that dog. You know, like that's what I want to see from him. And this is the funny thing with Killian. People say, "Oh, you guys saw the highlights from France and took the bait." I see the same highlights here.
Yeah.
Like Stick, what's good, brother? I see the same highlights here. I see Killian when he gets upset be able to play with the likes of some of the better point guards and shooting guards and small forwards in this league. Right. I've seen him be able to, even on his worst offensive night, be able to defend some of the best players in the league. Like that's what I'm talking about. He's putting the measurables in the film out there. He's done that. It's just something up top that just doesn't seem to be right. Like as soon as somebody bumps him, all of a sudden his whole entire game seems to be off a cliff. You know, these spurts where he does nothing in the first quarter and then gets 4 to 6 points in the second quarter, does 4 to 6 points in the third quarter, and then absolutely nothing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's just like Killian. I believe that this gentleman, this guy, this Piston, like I believe he has the all the skill sets there already. I don't believe that there's like some training he can do to get stronger that's going to make him a better basketball player, or some more handle drills or some more like catch and shoot drills is going to make him better. This is just Killian, like we said with Ivy. Bro, go out there and know you're a basketball player in the NBA, the #1 professional league in the world, bro.
And that's why I'm glad he's going to Rico Hines, man. Like he's going to these runs because
in that American run.
Yeah, and Rod talked about this too. Like that's the biggest thing you look for, because for Killian, man, you go out there, you play with NBA players. And what's the thing you notice in runs like Rico Hines? Everybody's selfish. Like go eat. This is Killian's time to be himself. You don't go to Rico Hines and get 6 assists and don't even take a shot attempt. You go out there, you be yourself, get buckets, and hopefully he just needs that.
Yeah, he don't need to work on playmaking.
Yeah,
work on shooting,
and maybe that's that Euro ball a little bit. Like you're playing the right way. And I get it. You want to play the right way. But there comes a point where you got to be a little selfish.
Yeah, it's easy to be that guy who can get on the court and be a playmaker. We've all done that. We've all been there. You know what I mean?
It's like the dude you talk to who doesn't hoop. He's like, I can play make. I'll set y'all up.
Hey, I set y'all up. But Killian is a guy who we're looking at like, well, you're a 6'5" specimen at point guard. And I just saw you dunk. I just saw you shooting. I just saw you handling. I just saw you drop passing. I just saw you doing all these other things. Can you also do that too? It's just like, come on,
Killian, what? I didn't hear you.
Bro, I saw you over there practicing with your homie and you dunked on him. Can you do that too? Like, It's just like, bro, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go back, we tell people all the time, go back, look at his highlights from some of his best games. He's putting it on film.
Yes, yeah.
Like he sunned De'Aaron Fox, bro. Sunned him. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just like, come on, do that every time. But then they play the Sacramento Kings the next game. It looks like he's never touched the basketball, and it's just like, kill.
Like you can't teach height and length, and you also can't teach heart.
You can't.
So like if you got both those things, man, like if you're 6'5" and you got the physical God-given abilities he has, and you have the right mindset and heart,
yep,
he's gonna be special. It's just about, can you lock in from quarter to quarter? and not just kind of, stand out. Really really fit in, not stand out. You want him to stand out. He's fitting in. He's like, all right, I'm just going to play my role.
Yep.
I'm Killian. I'll facilitate. Play good defense.
These are in 58 games played, 65 games played. 58 of those were starting.
Yeah.
Which means he came off the bench in 7 games? Yeah. I thought it was more than that.
Yeah, I see games played. He played 66 and he
66?
started 40.
Okay.
So he came off. He was off the bench for 26 of those games.
Okay. All right, dope.
So yeah, about half. I mean, 1/3 of the games he played.
Okay, dope. And this is the other thing here, man, with the catch and shoot and the pull-up numbers. What we've been talking about, and I wanted to save this for last because this is the most ugly of them, bro. This is the widest split of all of them. So between the effective field goal percentage between catch and shoot and pull-up, 44% to 29%, bro, that's 15%, right? The 2-point field goal percent, there's about 14% between there, 46 to 32.
Right.
The 3-point percentage, bro, what do you believe it is on catch and shoot? He's just a hair under respectable minimum.
26.
29.4%. What do you believe he is? So just about 30%. One more point one, we'll be able to say 30%.
You maybe let him slide at 30.
Yeah. Pull-ups, though?
Oh, is it 20?
No.
25?
No. It's horrible, dog. You got to guess this quick because it hurts my eyes to look at it. No.
12?
12, dog.
Oh!
12.5%.
And that's the thing, too, man. Like,
goodness, dog.
That was Killian's biggest knock. Or not one of his biggest knocks is the problem with his form.
No feet set either.
Bro, the feet. And I think now, like, if you have a set and it's a set catch and shoot pull up, it's easier because once you're off the dribble, you got to make sure you're squared up too. Killian has had that problem. So pulling up, man, it's like I can see that.
Bro, like somebody got to sit him down and say, Killian, let's just focus on playing these ways. So when you go into a gym,
it's consistent.
It's consistent.
You can practice, just work on it.
Yeah, practice on getting better at this because he's not known as a catch and shoot player.
Right.
But get better at it. You're known as a playmaker, as a ball handler. I don't want to see the Rico Hines tapes of him making a dope pass to Cade Cunningham. Like, I don't want to see that.
Playing the right way.
Yeah,
bounce back.
Fundamentals. It's just like, get out of here, bro. Like, I can see that in your Will Bynum clips that you used to put out. Like,
and we love that, but we need the other side of it too. Yeah, we need the other side of it too.
Exactly, man. Look, this Killian one was fun. Let me see. There was more stuff here in the advanced metrics, and as we get closer to the season, and as we get closer to basketball in general, man, we're going to get more and more into the deep dive of things with the numbers and such, get more into, especially when the games start, man, being able to get into the analytics of it all, be able to get into the fresh reviews of the game. You guys be on the lookout for that. It's going to be fun. But, Killian, he has some interesting archetypes here. The most important thing to note is probably that stretch from March 21st to, I'm going to cap it at April 6th. Now, there were a couple more games after that on April 8th and April 10th that he didn't fare too well in. I didn't like his play at all. He was 0 for 5 and 3. So I guess if he only scores 6 points, gets 3 assists, 3 rebounds in that game against Milwaukee in 27 minutes, he was 3 of 9. I can't fault him too much for that.
Yeah, 9 shots. I'll tell you, that's
9 shots. It was 0 for 5. We talked about that. Like, we're like, look, if he played the right way, cool. So, I just want to bring up these 2 games first because they're outside of our range, and it looks like a dip. I don't want people to go back and say, oh, y'all box score watching. Now, we were there for those Killian games. I was literally in the building. Yeah. Philly, it was the next game. He had a couple free throws. Oh, of note, that Milwaukee game, he didn't have any free throws, which means I think he's afraid to go into the paint when they're playing defensive teams. Philly, he only got 2 free throws. There's a lot of games where he gets no free throw attempts, bro. A lot of games where he's just, that stretch of 12 games, more than half of them, he didn't get a free throw. Or that stretch of 9 games, more than half of them, he didn't get a free throw attempt, bro.
And then we look over here and we check out Corey Joseph, and we see my man's getting a little more free throws.
Sheesh.
No, they're about the same. No, they're not. Double the free throws. Wait. Yeah, almost. I mean, he's 1.1. Not really double, but Corey Joseph's almost 2, and he's at 1.1.
What's the minutes played?
Killian has 25 minutes per game, and Corey Joseph has about 25 minutes per game. So in the same amount of time,
that's the problem.
Corey Joseph's getting the line a little bit more.
And when we're out there, what do we see Kojo do?
And guess what? Kojo
that same old man drive, scoop to the basket,
bro,
foul.
And he's smaller. Like, and he's smaller. I mean, by 2 inches, but he's 6'3".
So it's Kojo, the player that Casey is probably frustrating himself with. But he's like, somebody's going to show Killian that it's possible.
Yeah,
somebody like
it ain't that bad, Kill.
Like, look,
get to the line.
Kojo was going in. Maybe, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Killian. I gotta say the frustrations because this is a new year. This is his first full off season,
and it's a do or die year for him. I'll go that far. Dude, if he averages 5 points this year, 6 points,
people
he's out.
Saying, "Oh, we got time to make a decision," and if he prices himself out, bro, I don't know how much Troy wants guys who are trying to price themselves out. I feel like he wants people who are going to outplay the value that he gives them. That's what we've seen him do with Jeremy Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's going to want Marvin Bagley to outplay his contract. You know what I'm saying? And when he starts signing these guys, it ain't to say, oh, here, this is for, just because what you've already done. No, it's because I want you to get to a place that you need to get to so we can be championship level. Killian has to make it count today. He has to make it count this year, man. There are decisions to be made. And the other thing, hey, T-Toss, boy, Uncle T. Come on in here, man.
Oh,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me pull the curtain.
We're supposed to be doing lunch with Uncle T. Listen, we're going to get that time.
And ta-da!
There you go.
Well, Uncle T. Hey, I got my the computer bag I'm using over there, too.
Okay.
I was rocking it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be in touch, and we're going to get your time as well, bro, so we can get out and do something today.
Okay.
Did you forget the cards?
Yeah.
I got them.
I thought I'd leave them here for a day or two.
I'll look through them. I did. I put
the bag?
I'm going to get it today.
I told him about it.
He told me.
You got to get one after.
Yeah, hey, look, man.
The best
Terry
one.
Foster, the legend, man. He blessed us. He blessed the Woodward Pistons crew, man. He definitely did. So, really shout out to him. Listen, we're going to show y'all in the next episode. It's going to be dope.
I was walking. It was funny. I grabbed the bag and I was walking out with it yesterday, and I had my computer in it. And Jimmy, who did this? Jimmy, who does sales, he looks at you, he goes, man, look at this Pistons bag. He goes, that's a classic. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Uncle T gave it to me. He goes, man, look at you. He's like, okay, giving you gifts and stuff. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Hey.
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey.
You're one of the inspirations, man. It's like we love the Pistons, but we've been listening to you for years, man. My college years, basketball.
I have to.
All that.
You gotta go somewhere.
Today is my shave day.
Shave day.
Oh, you go to your barbershop.
He said he's going to the hood to get the shave, y'all.
Yeah, Victor. Yep. Talk about some Pistons Lion stuff.
Hey, look.
He always talks about, they make a prediction on the Lions every year.
What's he saying?
He always says, well, this is when they're 10-6 and 11-5. Man, what's wrong with you, dude?
It's like stick. It's another stick.
Oh, man.
I can see Terry. What's wrong with you, dude?
Listen.
I'll be back after Vic, and then we can discuss.
Hey,
all right, let's do it.
We'll do something. Right. Definitely. Hey, look, y'all. And we got some stuff on the way with Uncle T.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
I'm ready.
Let's get it. I can't wait, man. Dog, this season is going to be so dope.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be so dope.
I don't think the people are ready. We got things cooking up.
We do.
We got things cooking up.
And back to that Killian. Back to the Killian thing, man. That stretch of games that he gave everybody, I think, a little bit of life and hope, because everything we're talking about with Killian, I think it needs to also be in a vacuum where we're looking at these 9 games. He shot, I wish I had the compository of what he shot, but just looking here, he had a couple games where he shot over 60%.
Yeah.
A couple games over 50%. So half the games, Killian was over 50% in this stretch. Then a couple games where he was just at 48%. Only 3 games during that stretch. So a third of the games he was at 33%. So this is that stretch from March 19th to April 6th. Killian, he was shooting good, bro.
Yeah.
He was taking the shots. And against OKC, a team where he knew he was the man, boy, took 25 shots, hit 12 of them, man.
But no free throws.
No free throws. He took 9 threes. Oh, he hit 2 of them, bro.
He was out there.
We need that. If he don't come out first game of the season with that type of energy, dog, send him back to France. Air France, bro. Like,
No, but I love that though. 25 shots. I don't know what was spoken to him before the game. Like
25 shots, bro.
But he shot 12 for 25. I mean, 48% field goal percentage in that game. 2 for 9 from 3. I'll live with it. I mean, he's got some things, but 5 steals.
5 steals.
Like, bro, 26, 8, and 7 with 5 steals.
Because
and I get before everyone comments, well, that was against the OKC Thunder's like backups. Like it was basically a G League.
Bro, read all the other stats, man. Read the other games.
That's
he was
it.
Crushing.
That's it.
He was crushing.
It doesn't matter who he was facing. This is why it's good that he's coming off the bench because he's going to be facing guys like he did in OKC at some nights.
Because you mentioned to me before the show, he when we were in prep, that he came off the bench about a month and a half before this stretch.
Yeah. Yep.
But
late January.
And the All-Star break and a couple inactives kind of sat in between that.
Yeah.
This is when we don't know what happened, but something clicked for him. Something absolutely clicked. And in that first game coming out, the breaks were 12, 13, 10. Then he had a small blip with 6. And that was against New York. And the Pistons, they lost that game.
But still 9 shots.
Took 9 shots. And
but look at the fouls.
Look
at the fouls through those stretch of games.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about too. Like in the 12th, he fouled out. He had 4 the next game, 3, 4, 2, 3. Like, and he's only playing. I mean, he's playing 25 minutes a night on average. So it's like in 25 minutes, you're getting 4 or 5 fouls. Like, bro, you're walking on eggshells before you're fouled out. So that's the thing with Killian. But he was still getting 3. I mean, if you're talking steals, he was averaging during that stretch about 1.5 steals per game. So damn good, but just being disciplined. Yeah. That's all it is, man.
Yep. Bro, we got to get to Isaiah Stewart. We have to get there too. Yeah. Or are you good today?
Oh yeah, I'm chilling.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
We got to get to Isaiah. I'm sitting here like, sheesh. It's a lot of good conversation on Killian. Like it really is. Because
that's why I wanted to start because we'll talk a lot about him.
Yeah, because when you get into the numbers of it all with Killian, you see something completely different about this gentleman's game. Like I didn't understand how big a gap it was between his catch and shoot and his pull-up numbers. That's crazy. That means that if he's somebody we want to see scoring, we either need him to go aggressively to the basket or be in a catch and shoot position. Even if he's a point guard, maybe run some sets like they used to run with Chauncey that gets him, wiggles him free to catch and shoot from the corner. Catch and shoot from that. Like those are the types of things I'm hoping can be enacted. But some of this also is the fact that Chauncey Billups was smart. He had high basketball IQ. Even though Killian Hayes is a good basketball player, there is basketball IQ that comes into play that he might have it as just a pure point guard, but does he have it as a playmaker? Does he have it as a 2 guard, as a combo guard, which is what he's going to be asked to be? Right? It's what are you asked to do? Casey said these guys have to be combo guards. They have to be able to play both positions, be interchangeable, be able to play off ball, and we see it will benefit Killian. But
absolutely,
let's get into Isaiah Stewart, man. I don't think we will have to spend as much time here. Area of improvement on offense, area of improvement on defense. It doesn't have to be one. Just what are you hoping to see this year as the step forward? Not necessarily the expectation overall, but just I want to see that Isaiah Stewart has done this on offense and done this on defense.
Offense is the obvious one is that 3-point shot, and I wanted to see real quick. I wanted to look up his stats to end the season. In the last 4 games of the season, he was 1 for 1 from 3. In the next following game, he was 3 for 3 from 3. The following game, he was 1 for 4, and then the following game, he was 2 for 2.
That was that stretch.
So that was that hot streak. The last 4 games, he kind of like, all right, I'm getting more confident. Form looks better. Be more consistent. So that's what stood out to me.
What happened just before that? Because it would coincide also with the stretch that Killian had. So it looked like the team was allowing these guys to work on.
Yes, absolutely. And he shot. It's only 5-game sample size, but he shot 70% from 3. So the guy was actually playing well those 5 games. That's what I'm looking for offensively. I think there's other things as well. He gets to the free throw line just being inside naturally. The rebounding ability is something that he's, especially late in the season, he's gotten a lot better at. In the month of April, he basically averaged almost a double-double. And I think Isaiah Stewart can be a double-double guy. Like, he's too good. You're averaging right now 8 and 9, basically. There's no doubt in my mind you can kick that scoring total up to 10 points and his rebounds up to 10 rebounds. Like, he's got the skill set to do it. And he's good defensively. You want to see him get better offensively around the basket too. Like it's crazy to say that because he's an interior player, but he's not great at finishing around the rim. So
it's like, does he have a pet move?
Yeah, that's
Like
the
in
thing.
paint, like, does he have that go-to?
Right.
You know,
Little floater or something. He doesn't really have that in his arsenal as much, and you could tell his field goal percentage just on the season too with Stu. He shot 51% last year, and I think that's solid. I mean, 3 for 6, but again, more points you're going to average. You're going to have to work on that the efficiencies as well. So it just depends. I think he can take the next step. It starts with that 3-point shot and being more consistent around the basket. That's really the two things I'm looking for Isaiah Stewart. Defensively, I think he's so versatile as it is. There's not really too much to critique. We talked about it multiple times on this podcast late in the season. He got better on the perimeter defensively as well. Interior, he's just scrappy. He's tough. Like those things you can't teach. So he's got that already coming in this season. But really the number one thing with Isaiah Stewart, and this could change potentially his future in the NBA, is being able to space and hit 3-point shots, space out and hit, just catch and shoot, knock down. If you could shoot 32% on the year, I'll take that.
what do you think his catch and shoot was on the year from 3?
I'll say, because he only didn't take that many.
He didn't.
So I'll say 35.
It was 30.2.
Okay. All right.
He took about
Small sample size.
It's small. It was about 0.6 a game.
Yeah.
Which honestly is not that bad. I thought it would have been lower. I don't know why. I assume it was just that small spurt at the end of the season, which if you extrapolate that over the season, it would have been like 0.2 or 0.3.
Yeah.
That means that he actually did something. 0.6 means he's taking what, a 3 every other game, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's looking at 30 point. Let me see. What's it over here for Isaiah Stewart?
32% from 3
32, yeah.
in that sample size. And that's
His
why
catch and shoot is 30.2. So he had a couple pull-ups, not enough to even register. It was very, very low, and it shows at 50%. So that's probably why his overall was 32.
he's averaging 0.3 steals too. I feel like that's something he's like much better. But who knows?
Yeah. Because Drummond averaged like stocks. He was always over like 2.53 stocks a game, which is steals and blocks.
Yeah.
I want to see Isaiah. That's what I'm saying. I want to see Isaiah Stewart
Be more disruptive.
Reach those levels. A little bit more disruptive of a player on offense, in the paint, and on defense. I like where his trends are going. Like his catch and shoot and pull up numbers are really good. His less than 10 feet numbers, that's what I was looking for. I have it here. His effective field goal percentage is 54%. Now, I don't know what that is compared to other bigs, other fours. Do you mind looking up what do you think is a good player count for him? Somewhere that you think, hey, I would like to see this gentleman's this guy's field goal as well. What do you say, like Robert Williams?
Yeah, but Robert's different because I guess the thing with Robert Williams, I think Jalen Duren, I like to compare him to Robert Williams, but in terms of just being how big Isaiah is, like Robert Williams is 6'8". And he's 6'8", he averages 2.5 blocks, 2.2 blocks. The thing that stands out to me when you look up Robert Williams, though, is that field goal percentage. Like he doesn't take any shots outside of like dunks. So he averaged, the percentage he has is 73%.
Okay.
So it's like, that's tough to compare because Isaiah
is a couple inches, a little bit different flash as it relates to his play. They average about, Stu is at about 8.7 and 8.7. Robert Williams is at 10 points and 9.6 rebounds a game. But
he's a double-double guy at 6'8", so
yeah.
Isaiah can get there. I know he can.
No, he has to. What I'm going to do, I still want to look at the stats as it relates to his less than 10 feet because I believe that's a good comparison. I believe, they have some tweaks to their game, but largely these are two players who are trying to fill similar roles on their squads, and that's why I think it's still.
And Robert can't shoot, so the fact that Isaiah already has that, I think that'll make him much more valuable, to the Pistons than he would have been without a shot.
His catch and shoot is irrelevant. His less than 10 feet, obviously, yeah. He's going to be at that 75. That's where he's taking everything.
Is that Robert Williams?
Yeah.
Everything. Dunks.
Everything is coming from there.
I think that's what separates, like Isaiah's 51% field goal percentage. Yeah, he misses some shots around the basket, but also it's different. He's more expanded offensively, I think, than Robert Williams. But my comparison was 2 6'8" guys that are playing really center.
Yeah.
I mean, Isaiah might play more forward this year, but Robert Williams is a true center. Like, he averages basically a steal a game as well. That's the thing we talked about. So he's a little more disruptive. I think he has a little bigger wingspan, but Isaiah Stewart has a big wingspan too. That's not talked about enough. I mean, what's his wingspan actually, Isaiah Stewart?
Yeah, definitely.
He has a 7'4".
7'4", bro, and his height on there is what, like 6'8", 6'9".
And then Robert Williams has a 7'6". So they're really not that far off. Like
that's pretty good, man.
If you're averaging double the blocks and double the steals than Isaiah Stewart, man, like I don't think it might be more instinct. Like
would Pascal Siakam be a good player to compare that less than 10 feet? Because I'm trying to figure out some players that are kind of at the top of this NBA. Maybe Jaren Jackson, but I know his season with injuries and such. Maybe Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, that'd be fair. Just his own teammate, or Bam, or I don't even know. Bam's an all-star though.
Yeah, let me look at Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, Marvin Bagley would be good.
Because he's going to be next, man. Who we're going to get into. I just want to look at this because I do think it's important because Marvin Bagley averaged 14.6 points per game. 55% field goal for the Pistons, 6.8 rebounds. You want to see that number get up, but he got 27 minutes a game. So getting his feet wet, he was a little tired, and rebounds as much as anybody wants to say. Yeah, you'll get a few if you got the natural height and gifted body and everything, but it's a talent.
It is.
You have to want to go and get a rebound and get 10 rebounds. You really do. All right, let's see here. With Marvin Bagley, his catch and shoot numbers on the year. I mean, not catch and shoot, but is less than 10 feet, 60%, bro. His effective field goal, 60.9. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is.
Beef stew is in about the mid-40s.
Yeah.
That's
and imagine if he just converted like 10 more percent, 15 more percent than he already does, Isaiah Stewart. Like he'd be at
my fault. Not mid-40s. Hold on. Less than 10 feet, he's at 54.6. 54.6 for Beef Stew.
Yeah, he's 1 for 2 every time at the basket.
His less than 10 for what's the name? 60.9. It's not far off. It's not far off, but I believe that
I think he can get to that 60 though.
And I think that's the difference between him being a player that's averaging 8 points per game and him being a guy that's averaging like 10 or 12 points per game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and with the type of player that he is, the style of play that he is, that 1 or 2 more shots a game or a quarter, or even a half, the style that he plays means he's putting more aggression, more disruption. Like I like that you use that term, more disruption into the game. When we're talking about these types of improvements, I know a lot of times, I'm glad we're looking at areas where we want to see them improve. People say, well, I want to see this stat, that stat, this stat. Then you look at all of their stats. You're like, but then they're going to average like 150 points and like 70 rebounds. What we're talking about here are these areas of improvement that we're talking about. Hey, Killian, let's see you take 1 or 2 more shots a game. Beef Stew, let's see you get 1 or 2 more shots a game in the areas that we know are going to put you in your best areas to succeed. When you look at that scope, now you're seeing these marginal improvements from each player being able to move the team forward in a big way. You know, more than just marginal steps forward with everybody looking for theirs, but more or less people putting themselves in position to be ready to catch a catch and shoot 3. Both of them, Killian and Isaiah Stewart. Sadiq Bey, we talked about what he needs to do last week to take a next step forward in this season. And so I think it's a more realistic approach to look at Beef Stew. Let's get that percentage up 6%. Some people will say, well, what I do? Well, when you put that with his 6%, when you put that with Killian Hayes is now making another 3 or 2. When you put that with adding Cade Ivey and Jalen Rose to the mix in general, when you add that to whatever Cade does, if he gets just 1 or 2 more free throws, now we're talking about this team averaging 10, 12, 14 points more per game in ways that they can actually succeed in. That's why we're looking at these numbers. Hey, put him at the catch and shoot then. If you didn't think he could, Killian has succeeded the best that way. We've seen Beef Stew now go out there in a small sample size improve. He can be a forward that can stretch the floor. You know, and so I'm glad that we're looking at it from this way, even though it may seem like marginal increases. These are huge things, man, huge steps, especially when you talk about with Killian. We're getting down to the end of his contract. Isaiah Stewart came in the same year that he did. Getting down to the end of these guys' contracts, man, like or their first contracts. You know, you want to see that these guys have taken a step towards superstar or all-star level. You know, that's what you want to do. If Killian hasn't shown that he is that, then what are we doing? You know, what are we doing this season? What are we doing next season? Next season is what? The contract decision. Yep. And I think that their minds will technically be made up this year because it becomes a tradable asset that 4th year, unless they just say, hey, He's cheap. He's this, he's that. I just don't feel like the Pistons are that type of organization right now, though. Where it's like, well, we can get him back cheap. He didn't meet the measurables, but we can use him this way. They just, to me, have not really, really fit that way. Or else just sign Drummond. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do this or do that. Like, I don't know, man. So, with Isaiah Stewart on the defensive end, is there anything else on the offensive end? I know I want to see him rebound better. I didn't know which side that should go on, offensively or defensively. But I believe his defensive rebounding can get better.
Yeah. That's probably where I would lean as well. I didn't really, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of curious now to look at that. Mm-hmm. He actually got better as an offensive rebounder. So
3.2 offensive rebounds a game.
Yeah, compared to 2.3 his rookie year, playing 4 more minutes.
5.5 defensive rebounds.
Give him his rookie year. He was 4.3. So he got better. So I'm maybe offensively, it's really just developing a shot. That's really, and finishing, being more consistent around the rim. And then defensively, just being solid on the perimeter. And then the steals we talked about, being more disruptive. That's really all for Isaiah. It's not too much. I mean, the guy, what you're getting with Isaiah Stewart. That's the difference. Like every night he's going to play hard. Yeah. Just critiquing him at this point.
And the thing that I do want to bring up here, because we've touched on it with a lot of these players, with all of them actually, is the personal fouls. Cade led the team in personal fouls at 3.1 per game. But number 2 right behind him is Isaiah Stewart. And there were his paint defense, there were some reckless fouls. I didn't really notice him getting fouls out on the perimeter like that. He didn't bump guys. He wasn't out of position. He knew kind of how to hold his own.
Right.
But those 3 fouls per game, that's something he has to get under control as it relates to how he defends people in the paint. Sometimes it's about staying sound, even if you don't get the block.
And he might have less fouls this year because he's on the perimeter more.
Yeah.
Playing defensively. Like if he might be playing with Duran, he might be playing with Nerlens Noel, might be playing with guys that are going to take that assignment. So hopefully, like last year, he was our big, period. So like it was him and Trey Lyles, if you want to.
Yeah, and he had no help. No help.
It was just him down there.
Yeah,
so going against Behemoths.
Defensively perimeter. It's like
maybe that'll help him a little bit.
It should.
But to your point, like when you are defending in the post, being disciplined. It goes back to being disciplined.
Yep. It should. I mean, and he took a leap forward. He took some leaps forward. I wanted him to. I had him at the beginning of the season. Shout out to JD Sports Tweets. We're going to bring the over-under competition into the Woodward Sports family. JD's going to run it all still. It's going to be associated with the Pistons forum and everything. But I had Isaiah Stewart finally averaging, I thought, that double-double.
Yeah.
But I continued to plead with, at the start of last season that he just always seems to get right there, but can't seem to. He's always like at 8-9, 8-8, 8-7, 10-7, 11-7, or he'll get 13 rebounds, 8 points. I want to see him attack. Not to say I want to score 10 points, but to, and keep saying it, disruptor. Mm-hmm. I think that's the word for Isaiah Stewart. It's be a disruptor. That's just straight up, man. With the fouls, what was his blocks his rookie season? He had 1.1 blocks.
Yeah, he actually
this year.
Regressed. Just it's not a terrible regression, but he averaged 1.3 blocks and 0.6 steals his rookie year, and then his second year, and 2.7 fouls. So he had less fouls, more blocks, more steals. Then the following year, he has less blocks, less steals, and more fouls.
So it shows.
So that's the thing.
Increase in aggression, but need for being taught where to be.
Yeah,
that's what that is. And you said less blocks, less steals, but what did he do a little bit more this year than he did his first year? Perimeter defense.
Yeah,
so you're going to see a shift. You're going to see a shift, and he's learning. These are young players. We want to be fair to that. We are ready for these guys to be good because we are the ones who have been sitting, waiting 84 years for this team to be something different. You know what I'm saying? But these guys are just stepping in like we are different. We're learning, we're getting better, we're doing this, we're doing that, and I do want to be fair to that. But one area of improvement, if he can try and get that foul number back down, if those foul numbers are going to be 3, I would like to see the blocks be up 2, at least.
That's it.
At least.
That's right there.
His free throw percentage was very, very, very respectable. 18%, hitting 1 a game. I would like to see that be a little bit more too, but this team struggled overall with free throw shooting, and I believe that was more indicative of the NBA. Some guys we know be a little bit more aggressive, but they gave Jeremy Grant his due at 5.5 a game, and we still thought they were leaving some out there. Cade Cunningham, we know he was getting hosed. Sadiq Bey.
Dude, there's no free throws on this team.
This team was not getting free throws, not even from the big men. I mean, we know the way Hami Diallo plays. He only plays to get free throws. And he even was only getting, 2.4 a game? He got to improve that free throw shooting, man. We're going to get into some stuff, man.
Wait, am I seeing this correctly?
What are you looking at, brother?
Saban Lee in 37 games.
Where's Saban Lee at here?
And he's 20th. Look at this.
Yeah.
In 27 games, or 37, my bad, my man averaged almost 2 free throw attempts.
Sheesh.
I just let that slide.
Bro, and he was hitting 1.5 of them, 1.5 out of 1.9. Yo, hold on, man. Why do we – okay, I see his field goal percentage is 39%.
And he plays 16 minutes a game, bro.
So that 39%, it does suck because Hami is at 49%.
So you're telling me
Frank Jackson's at 40%.
a guy who didn't start plays 16 minutes, he's getting 2 free throw attempts a game, and we got guys like Cade getting 2 point what?
6. Bro, wait.
Starting playing 33 minutes.
What? Say that again. Say that again. Start that whole sentence over, bro.
Saban Lee in 37 games didn't start a single game and played 16 minutes per game. Is getting more free throws than Killian Hayes, and he has more free throws than Isaiah Stewart. He has more free throws than
This is stupid.
almost as many free throws as Hamidou Diallo. I mean, that's crazy.
Bro, you know who's absolutely listening to this right now and is absolutely like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go wreck? Saban Lee in 16 minutes got 2 free throws a game? Jaden Ivey is probably like, yes,
Dude, he's,
yes.
He's at basically 2 free throw attempts, and Cade's at 2.6.
That's stupid, dog.
But again, like, oh, damn, I don't even know what to say. It's like, it goes back to that mindset thing, bro. Like, Saban Lee, he is a dog. As much as you want to say, like, Saban Lee's going to attack.
That's the one thing we know he's going to do.
Attack.
He's going to attack, bro.
It might not look good when he's in the air, but, hey, he's going to keep going.
But that's the thing. From day one, Saban Lee had that.
Yeah,
like
he
needs to do
You
other
have it or you
things.
don't.
We're not going to bring up the pull-up numbers on Saban Lee.
Yeah, we'll save those.
We'll save those, man, because this season's going to be a big season for him, man. Like, seriously, I didn't know that, man. That's huge, man, and dumb. It's both. Like, how, bro? A half a free throw less than Cade in way less time? I'm afraid to look at the overall totals.
Oh, yeah. And half the minutes, it's literally half the minutes Cade plays.
That's what I'm saying. If I look at the
plays
totals,
half
bro,
the
and
time.
he's within a third of the free throws of Cade on the season, I'm going to look at this.
And he's got more than Killian. No, yeah, I'm not trying to take some shots, but that's the reality. Like,
Yeah, part of this is on these players. We get it. But a lot of this is, come on, NBA. Come on.
Yeah.
Cade hitting 85% from free throw. That's what you're trying to stop, man. If you got these other guys you're trying to prop up. You saw what Jack Kelly put? As we get into our Cade Zone and try and wrap this thing up, Jack Kelly, shout out Detroit Bad Boys, man. He posted the graphic in the clip of Cade versus Scotty Barnes for Rookie of the Month in March. It was a total, like, Cade absolutely had mashed, bro. But for whatever reason, the NBA decided, man, we're going to give it to the other guy.
Yeah, we're going to give it to the team that's
I wish I had that up. Oh, here it is. Still wild to me. Shout out at Jack_Kelly_313. Shout out Detroit Bad Boys. And shout out Sean Court, bro. We got a meeting. We got to talk. But still wild to me that Cade didn't win Rookie of the Month in March. I'm a huge fan of Scotty, but the numbers were in Cade's favor. Cade, 23, 6, and 7 in 37 minutes on shooting splits of 48, 32, and 83. Bro, give me a little dog, a little growl, because that's dog, bro.
That's that, like,
come on.
Yeah, that man was locked in that month. He's like he it's like that Michael Jordan meme. Like, I took it personally. Like, that month of March, he took it personally.
Scotty, though, 17, 8, and 5. That's respectable. Those are Cade's numbers on the year.
I know, but
On splits of 51, 24, and 70, bro.
what was the team record to that stretch? Did they have that too?
I got to figure that out.
That's
I know
the
that
biggest
for
one.
But for the Pistons, that was the best stretch. That was the stretch for the Pistons. March was a stretch. That's when Killian was getting busy. That's when the team was winning most of their games. Right after All-Star. They won the majority of their games after the All-Star break.
Let me see.
It's crazy, dog.
I want to look it up.
Well, listen, these are things we're definitely going to bring up. I know that today was by Isaiah and Killian. If you can find it, definitely find it. But because these are the things that just, as it relates to Cade, as it relates to his steps forward, it gets really, really tough. We know certain things we want to see him get stronger, but did Cade need to get stronger to get foul shots this year? No.
So the Pistons were 6-10.
And they had, 23 wins on the season?
6-10. Raptors were 11-5.
So they're probably just giving it to him because he's winning.
Bro, I don't even want to. I hate this conversation. I've had it so
But
much. I
isn't
hate
that
it,
what they
dude.
were supposed to do? They were going to do that with or without him. He contributed.
Yeah, he
but
did, but
could've-
that's what they were doing, man. I mean, the Raptors are a playoff team, regardless if Scotty's there or not. I'm sorry. He's going to make them even better, and I think
and he's really good.
he's really good. But the Pistons are not going 6-10 in the month of March without Cade. It's not happening. Like that's 0-10 or 0-16.
Yeah,
sorry,
how many wins
16
on the
games.
season?
23.
We're gonna break this down. We're gonna look at the Pistons month by month. I don't even know if we have the time to do that today. We're gonna
Guess
get
what?
into
They
that
face
next
the
time.
Pistons in the month of March. L for the Raptors. Come on, man. Get that stuff out of here.
We're gonna start next
cool.
one with,
Yeah,
with the month by month. We're gonna look at what Cade was doing. We're gonna look at his numbers. We're gonna look at what up, Adam? Got a big boss in there. We're gonna look at what these guys did, man, as Cade got better. Because if the Pistons showed remarkable improvement, we talked about it. We want to see the Pistons play winning brand or winning style of basketball. Cade had no help, man. When just a few guys got back, we saw Cade and Killian and Isaiah Stewart take steps forward. We saw Jeremy Grant look a little better. We saw this team win some games, bro.
That's crazy. I was looking at the box score in that game, too, when they beat the Raptors. I was just curious. They won by 2. Cade had 22, 12, and 5, and 2 steals, 1 block. He was dialing a phone number on that stat sheet, bro. 9 for 20, 4 for 9 from 3. He was cooking. And then they had Sadiq Bey. See, like you just mentioned, it was funny you said that as I was looking. When other guys stepped up, there was 3 guys in 20 points, and they won. So, like, he had help. They beat him. Raptors had basically 3 guys with almost 20 points. They had Siakam with 28. Oh, Siakam, that's funny. Yeah. Really good player, by the way.
I wish Cade had a Siakam.
Yeah, me too. Scotty Barnes, 20. He played well. I'm not going to crap on him. 21, 10, and 2.
But he's getting spoon-fed. I don't want to put up the advanced metrics because people don't think we parsing, but he was getting spoon-fed in that game.
True.
Just letting y'all know.
That's true. And Gary Trent Jr. had a terrible game. But, yeah, and then Precious had 18 points. But that's kind of what I want to look at, too.
Like
it's
Precious.
like when
I like Precious.
Precious nice. He's nice. I was watching him in high school. That's another conversation. But yeah, but with Cade, I think it's just there's levels to this, man. There really is. And I don't care about Rookie of the Year. I at this point I've gotten over it because when it's all said and done, we know who's gonna be the best player.
Yeah,
like that award.
Bro,
is,
they were
is a
writing
bull-
those. They were writing those articles before the end of the season.
Yeah, they were.
They were writing those articles before the end of the
Like,
season.
bro, you think if the Raptors had the number 1 pick, they're picking Scotty or Cade? I mean, come on, it's no question. They're picking Cade.
Yep.
Not even blinking.
Yep.
So I'm good, man. We got
tell
the best.
us realistically, do you believe it's more on the NBA or more on Cade Cunningham to figure out? Let us know as it relates to this free throw and these fouls and such, because I know he's saying we critique players. I don't really know what you critique Cade Cunningham on. I'm not saying that you don't state areas we want to see him improve.
No, you're right.
But this man literally went out there without any free throw help, like every other top draft pick and every other like random rookie was getting, man.
Turn into a man.
We looked at the free throws. I looked at the top 10, the free throws of the top 10 rookies. Remember the stuff I plugged you in?
Yep.
Dog, that was disgusting. We're gonna get into this more. We're gonna have to open up with Cade, his actual effect on the game, the numbers of it all, because I don't want anybody to accuse us of just being homers. He did this with no help. When you look at some of these other players and the free throws that they got, playing either less minutes, not taking as many field goal attempts, but they're getting either the same amount of field goals. Bro, Cade Cunningham was, between him and Evan Mobley, was the leader. There was only almost 100 field goal attempts in between them. But Cade made only 20 field goals less than him. Or free throws. Think
That's
about
crazy.
that. Like, there were so many guys ahead of him. There were rookies who I'm just like, oh, he was a rookie this year who had more free throw attempts or a better free throw rate, effectively more free throw attempts per field goal.
Yeah.
This is wild to me. And they were taking like 5 field goal attempts, 8 field goal attempts. Our man taking 16.
Dude, I'm telling you. And that's the biggest thing for guys coming into the NBA. It's adjusting mentally. Cade is already there mentally. It's adjusting physically for him. And I think that's a great thing when you're talking about your own franchise player. You're like, hey, this guy gets it. He gets it mentally and how to process NBA and how to process basketball at a high level. But it's physically. And that's really the only knock you can give Cade. is just getting stronger, and that's a good thing.
Yep. And
all he has to do is work on what he has to do physically.
And the reason why we state that, though, is because of how the free throws looked. If he was getting those calls, I think we would just say, hey, it'd be cool when he comes back next year even stronger, rather than saying the only knock is. We have to say that because the NBA is effectively challenging him. Yeah. And you know what? NBA has done this before, man. They've challenged our teams. They've challenged other players. And when those players prove, you know what, he's that deal, give him the prime time. Were the Pistons on prime time when they proved they were that deal? By the time 2003, 2004, before they won a championship, the Pistons had to go through gauntlets. And they were tested by a lot of different teams in the East that they could not get through. And when they finally proved they were through, man, the Pistons was on national TV. I remember watching them on TNT like once a week. Like they were getting national TV games, TNT, ESPN, all that. Chauncey and Rip, Ben, these guys that stretch where they held teams under 70, they were getting it. And if they're doing that, they're saying, hey, go out here, prove it. We're trying to see who you are, like they did with Shaq. We think Cade is a great. We don't think that Cade is just an all-star. We don't even believe that Cade is just a guy who can lead us to maybe a championship. We believe that Cade Cunningham is a guy who is an absolute superstar. And if that's the case, he will prove it. Did he prove he's an all-star level player? Yeah.
Yeah. Already.
If he comes out and he takes everything up a notch and the NBA is still saying, hey, you know, earn it more than we made guys like LeBron earn it. Because LeBron was getting, 4, 5, 6 free throw attempts a game his rookie season.
Yeah, he was.
We looked it up. KD and these guys, he's not getting that. We got other rookies who got more free throw attempts in their rookie seasons than Cade Cunningham.
And that could be also them being a victim of the rule changes with the NBA and their officiating. Because, like, that's the thing they're trying to work on is offensive fouls, defensive fouls, like especially guys getting free throws. And so back then it was like blowing whistles. I mean, well, to a certain extent, physicality-wise, yes, it was much more physical. But guys were getting to the line because the game was much more physical. Now it's a more finesse league. Like you don't see as many guys getting to the line. But yet, to your point, just look at his own damn class. Yeah, guys are getting to the line more than him. So it's not all of that.
Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs,
these guys got crazy,
bro. Got to the line more than Cade.
Just crazy.
I don't get it, man. That list made me mad, bro.
I'm curious to see what he does this year and how much he gets to the line. I'm gonna watch
because I don't want him to rely on it. Don't rely on it. Maybe the NBA is saying, bro, don't rely on us. You're Cade Cunningham.
Go get a bucket.
Go get the buckets. Go out there and get them and cry all game like LeBron used to. I want to go back and look at the free throw rates. I'm going to do this week because I want to see these guys that we did look at, to be fair, to see where they placed in their class. Because, yeah, LeBron might have been getting those free throws, but if he was still like 6th or 7th in his class, then that's a problem. Because remembering being on the scene when we were watching those games, I remember it being an adamant outcry from their fans and from LeBron that he wasn't getting his calls.
Yeah. I remember. But what happened then? He made them,
or he was just absolutely.
He was like, if you ain't gonna call it, I'm gonna go to the rim like a freight train, and you're gonna have to make a business decision. Do I call this or not, or I'm gonna murder somebody? Like, and they were like, all right, we're
tell me they didn't throw that gauntlet down in 06.
Yeah,
he had to score, bro. It wasn't like they were just blowing the whistle.
He really had to be like, I'm gonna make y'all
25, 26 straight points, and you're right. And after that, nothing was the same. LeBron took over after that. That was it. And if Cade can come through this in his rookie year, in his second year, prove, y'all better put me in an all-star game or else I am going to be a legitimate snub. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't want that whole stupid, give him another year, put him in the Rising Stars Challenge again. Skip that, man. Skip that. If this man deserves it and proves it, put him in there. Seriously, what do you think Cade Cunningham needs to do to get to the all-star game, like stat-wise? Because if he's averaging like 22, 8, and 5,
that's all-star numbers, yeah.
But he could have did that this past season.
Yeah, got to the line, yeah.
Yeah, I know we've
been 22, 5, and 5.
Defenses will change how they play him. He has a little bit more talent, so we'll see. But defenses are going to know a little bit more of his tendencies.
Right.
I like the fact that Cade can go to both hands, but he has pet moves, and we're going to get into that as we get close to the season. I've been doing some studying. He has some pet moves that I believe defenses, they tried to shade him towards the end of the season, and it sometimes can mess with his efficiency, though it didn't take him out of the game.
Right.
But sometimes it's all you need is just to disrupt the guy's efficiency, just to go on a spurt or a run at the end of a game or something of that nature. So it'll be interesting to get into it, just to see how Cade played throughout the course of a game and how the defenses kind of responded and adjusted, because that's going to be his biggest thing, is how do you follow up year one knowing that everyone's looking at you as the man? Coming into your rookie year, people say he's a first-round pick. He's the number one pick, but he's with the Pistons. There's other exciting guys. People contemplated his whole year. Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, or this. You're coming in this year towards the end of that season where people are saying, you're the guy. All eyes on you. Y'all got 2 lottery picks. You got a little bit of help. Y'all are the league pass darlings. What are you going to do, Cade? Because we've seen other guys, their teams take the lead, even though they're not going to look at the fact that we don't have what Charlotte had. We don't have what Memphis has as help. We don't have that. We lost, other than Cade, we're going to say Cade's our best player. We lost our second best player in Jeremy Grant. That's where we're at. And we don't even know if we've replaced what he can be. We believe that there's a way or a path to it, but we don't even know. Yep. So this is a huge year for Cade to step out there and state, it's not about wins or losses or this or that. It's about, I'm that guy. I'm the deal. Year 3, Cade, we know that's the year that they have the money. That's the year that they're going to be able to make some decisions. That's the year that these other players should take a step forward. And Jalen and Jaden should be solid.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Together, absolutely.
Yeah, but I want to go through it, man, because it's so hard to critique or to even highly praise Cade until the wins are there. We can't really praise him until the wins are there as it relates to what this team is doing, where he's going to take us and things. Like, we know what we think. So it gets tough, man. I'm sitting here like, but the numbers, the style of play, going toe-to-toe with these superstars and winning these stretches of games where the Pistons are almost 500. Mm-hmm. I don't know, dog. Like, let's get there, guys. Let's get there. It's been a long time.
Let's do it. I'm waiting. I got the watch.
Definitely. Hey, listen.
It's time.
We're going to be rocking out. When is it? Tomorrow, August 25th at the Midway.
We'll be at Midway.
Monroe Street Midway, downtown Detroit. Woodward Sports, Woodward Heavyweights. They're going to be broadcasting live from 5 to 7, I believe.
Yep, 5 to 7.
From 5 to 7. Hey, listen, I'm going to be down there. Come down, boy. Woodward Pistons will be represented. You going to be down there at all?
Oh, I'll be hooping, yeah.
Oh, let's go. You heard that, right? Y'all better not show up without some gym shoes or something.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
Y'all got to. We're going to be out there. I know they got the jersey giveaways. It's going to be a fun time, for real. And I believe we have the basketball coming up. Is that league coming up in September?
Yeah, I think early September. We got the 3-on-3 league.
The 3-on-3 league. Listen, you guys want to be able to be tuned in. It's going to be Woodward Sports players, personalities. And, I think we all know who's going to take that thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it'll happen because it ain't fair.
Yeah, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. I feel
it's barbecue
bad.
Chicken.
Everybody else's chances is like that Belle Isle slide, bro.
It's got the same survival rate as the Belle Isle slide. If you get in a 2-on-2 with me,
let's go. Listen, y'all want to tune in? We're gonna stream it. We're gonna have the draft. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be really, really dope. But this is the reason why I'm telling you guys want to watch. Woodward Pistons. We're gonna take that model and we're gonna try and open that up to the community, who deserves to be out there on the court, man. Straight up. We're gonna try and make sure we have our own Woodward Pistons league, and we want to see you guys come out, have some fun, meet you guys, play some ball. Hey, there will be some prizes, man. There will be some things to win. There will be some stuff on the line, more than just pride. We're going to have some fun. We're going to definitely have some fun. Other than that, man, is there anything else?
Did you see the Cade and Ivey working out with Russell Westbrook?
I did, man. We were definitely going to get into that on the table talk. That thing, I know Adam was probably pissed. He's probably like, no. What do you think about it, bro?
Listen, if you actually think if you hate that, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry. If you really don't like Cade and Ivey learning from a guy like Russell Westbrook, who has similar traits to Cade and Ivey, both extremely athletic, if you don't think Russell Westbrook has anything to offer Cade and Ivey, you're ignorant.
Especially with how to succeed early in the NBA with that skill set, with those traits.
This is what people, and recency bias is so bad in the NBA, like, or in sports in general. Like, people look at what Russell is the last 2-3 years, and they say, well, he doesn't help his team win. He's only worried about himself. He's only worried about his production. Yeah, to a certain extent, I agree with you. But what about Russell in totality as a career? You don't think he's going to make the Hall of Fame? Seriously? He's going to be a Hall of Fame point guard. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. He's the only point guard in the modern era to average a triple-double for multiple seasons. He's an MVP. I don't give a crap what you think about his MVP season. If you look him up, and he has the MVP award at his house, so he's an MVP. That's what I look at. Cade and Ivey can learn from Russell. Russell's been healthy for a majority of his career. He can give him tips. I mean, for as athletic as Russell is, like, the biggest thing is, like, you were always wondering, like, man, if he gets hurt, his knee. Like, and he's had knee issues, but I'm talking, like, ACL, blowing an Achilles, whatever it is. He's been healthy. He's been a good citizen. at least in OKC. I know he's been a little, him and Cade didn't work out, but just as him as a player, man, it's not like people think that Jaden Ivey's around Russell. All of a sudden, he's going to change his play style completely and play like Russell the last 2 years.
Russell will be able to tell him what to avoid, if anything.
Absolutely.
That's what we're all supposed to do, man. We all make our mistakes. We all have our ups and our downs. And when you hear these players talk about the advice and the instruction and the training that they're getting from older players, it's not just, oh, yeah, he told me to go be great. No, they're telling these guys about the ups, the downs, the pitfalls.
Like shit that I went through. Like Russell's like, hey, this is what I had to do. This is my rookie year. I wish I knew this.
This is how the media may come at you. Like straight up, that matters because in your rookie year, you have so much noise going on, bro.
Yeah, you do.
So much noise going on, especially as just a young player in general. So much noise. I wish we had that type of mentorship around guys like Andre Drummond and Brandon Knight. Like there was nobody to mentor those guys and show them anything. And I don't really remember them working out with guys. Like the culture of NBA basketball working out like that, it wasn't necessarily to that degree then.
Right.
It was happening, but now it's like these young guys know, oh, you better get to Rico Hines. You better get to this camp. You better go to this program. You better go and do this. You better go and do that. You want to be doing these things because you get to meet other players. You get to work out. You get to increase your prospects because you're not. What if some of these guys aren't on the Pistons? Well, you want a Chris Paul or you want a Russell Westbrook or you want an AD or you want these guys like a Trae Young who they're working out with to say, you know what? Pistons might not sign Killian, but I know it could be for us as a backup. Those things matter, dog. And then learning these guys' moves, getting comfortable. We know that Killian is the most comfortable, plays the best when he's the most comfortable. If he's getting comfortable playing against these guys, when he steps out on the court in the NBA with them, it's going to be a comfortable experience.
Against second unit guys. If he comes off the bench,
yeah, right. He's going to know that. So, I wish that guys like our earlier draft picks who I thought were fine prospects had this around them. And I wish they had a little bit more guidance. Even Stanley Johnson, he didn't really have the guidance. He was going to play in pro-ams and run around with Drake, bro, at the OVO leagues and such. But he didn't have somebody saying, hey, let's sit down and let's actually work on our game. Hey, me as a player, your player type is similar to this and the other. Now, when we saw him get that in Toronto, that's which is the tree of Dwayne Casey. Remember, Stanley got brought in through SVG and they didn't really do anything. When he got to Toronto and they kind of focused on, hey, this is what you can be as a player and put him in his best position to succeed, they got a little bit of something out of him. I remember people talking, oh, man, look at the Pistons. They slept on him. They just say that. No, there was some stuff that was adamant, that was,
right,
true.
What are you asked to do?
What are you asked to do, though? That rung true.
Yeah, if Stanley, if his role was 3 and D, I think if he can just get his 3-point percentage up, he's going to excel at that. Yeah, he's not a franchise player. I mean, that's just what you have to accept.
That's the difference between the regime and organization today.
It is, and to go back to that Russell Westbrook thing, it's like, guys. And I saw comments. This just made me cringe, dude. I'm looking at the comments. Was it Mob? Who was it? Nick? Who posted that? Nick on Pistons Twitter or Mob Hoops? Who was it?
I forget.
We can't remember the name, but we got to give credit to whoever. Like they posted it first. It was on like Sports Center, but they posted it, and I saw it on Pistons Twitter. And I looked at the comments, and I saw, "Don't learn to shoot free throws from Russell. Don't. Hopefully, he's not teaching him his shooting form." I'm like, guys, no. It's not what he's teaching him. He's not teaching him. It's more so like, hey, this is advice I have for a rookie. I wish I knew as a rookie. And if you don't think that's a good thing, I can't help you. Yeah, I can't help you.
That's great points, man. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm happy with it. And you got to understand, these guys are all clued in and connected.
They are. Dude.
And he's a child of the NBA, man. Like Russell Westbrook is a huge supporter of the WNBA too. And his mom is a WNBA player. Like this is a family. That's what this is all the way around. And if people don't understand that, I don't know what you want. If you guys think Russell Westbrook is in his ear talking about, hey, shoot bad free throws. Let's practice to shoot bad free throws.
Hog the ball.
Hey,
really?
Let's do logo pull-up threes, man. Let's just do that. Like, come on, y'all. That's not what's happening right now. What you want is Jaden Ivey realizing what NBA speed is, realize what NBA
how to adjust to it is,
how to adjust to it when it's defending you, how to adjust to it when you have to play against it. Man, I remember my first experience with college basketball, because I went unconventional. I was in Christian schools up until literally 10th grade or 11th grade. I had 2 years to prove in the public school system that I was worth anything, bro. And I wasn't playing on Friday nights or Saturdays and such. So I was missing a third of the games, for religious observance of Sabbath. And I had only a couple years to prove it, bro. And I did good. But when we got to college, since I missed a lot of the AAUs and those circuits where I could get ranked, When I got to college and tryouts, initially, it was a shock, man. It was a shock. I came back home after those first runs of it, and I remember I worked with my trainer. I got serious about it then, man. I was to the point where I was pulling like cars around tracks, like literally just walking with them. When I got back, he was training me. Hey, look, this is how they're going to defend you. This is how they're going to this. This is the types of offenses. These are the types of defenses. This is the intrinsic stuff. That's why I talk this way so much about it. Like it goes beyond sometimes just the numbers. There's a whole aspect of how to play basketball, how guys are going to come at you, bro.
Yep.
That stuff matters. And when they taught me that, I remember I went back on that second run of schools, bro. I just walked in and just felt comfortable. I didn't feel like, oh, what is this?
Game slowed down a little bit.
Slow down, even for Killian. I get it. Like, you got to learn to play this game. And when I learned it, it slowed down. I was out there doing things. You know, got brought into a D2 school and got to go into a lot of historic gyms, including Virginia Union and others, man. It was an awesome experience, but I had to be taught it. I had to learn it. I had to see it. I had to get beat by it. You know, I had to get baptized by it. Yes, bro. You get dunked on? Bro, yeah. These guys are like 6'4", 6'5" in dunking. We had a guy named Lil Mike who was 5'8" and would dunk on you, bro. It was different. You learned how to even take a charge, even though you knew I'm about to get wrecked.
Oh, dude, I took some nut shots. I ain't proud of it, but I am proud of taking that charge. I'll be honest with you.
But why would you do it if you don't know the importance of it? There are people sitting in the crowd. You hear people, why did he do that? Because it's a charge. But didn't it hurt? You don't know what it means.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Like you say, you don't have any idea. And those are the things that you have to be taught sometimes. And you have to experience. Russell Westbrook with Cade and Ivey is a guy who can help him get that experience. We're not talking about, is he going to be that same type of player?
No.
Come on,
you can't mimic a player's play style just by talking to him.
Fire and heart. You know, he's talking about what can I do to improve on the type of archetype that Russell Westbrook was.
Right.
That's
how did you? Yeah, like the ideal question you'd like him to ask would be like, "Hey, how did you adjust in the NBA with your play style?"
Exactly.
Like early on in your career, like, dude. This is what pisses me off too. Is like the flip side, and I love Derrick Rose, but if that was Derrick Rose, people would be crapping their pants. Derrick Rose and Cade and Ivey having a conversation. Oh my God! But guess what? They're both MVPs, so you can't take away from Russell that MVP as much as you want to crap on him the last couple of years.
You're right, man.
If it was Derrick Rose, bro,
people would, and we wouldn't be mad at it.
No, we wouldn't. But I'm just saying that's the flip side of it. Is like, so why do you hate Russell, but then you'll love Derrick Rose teaching him? So we're just gonna crap on Russell Westbrook and everything he's accomplished. Like,
what happens?
Westbrook,
I wonder what the world would do if they saw Killian working out with the other Kyrie Irving.
People would be like, "Oh my God, you didn't teach him about the flat Earth theory." And like, get out of here, bro. The guy, like, can we just separate what we think of players and what their actual skill set is? Like, I guarantee Russell Westbrook would. Yeah, no, I don't even want to get into that.
Bro, we're gonna have a off-kilt show, man. One where we're just like, you know what,
just talking trash. Because like it's fun to me. I've never been a guy that rolls with the, like, people come at LeBron, people come at Russell, people come at Kyrie, people like KD, he's soft. Like I'm not with that.
He used to come at Giannis.
Like I'm not with that, man. Like I know, and I'm not saying I'm in the NBA, but I look at it from a player perspective. That's what we do on the show. Like I'm never gonna sit here and be like LeBum James.
Look,
like,
bro, basketball's basketball. Just
you appreciate it.
Yeah, you play basketball, I play basketball, y'all play basketball. It doesn't matter the levels. I bring up levels as it relates to perspective. Hey, these are some things that I saw on this level that I didn't know on this level.
Absolutely.
So for just perspective, that might be the case. You've played basketball on some levels as well. Other people, Rod has played and seen things, and there's people who will be bringing on the show who's played at higher levels.
And it makes you appreciate that. Like when I see Russell Westbrook, people who the average viewer who's never played basketball, you might be watching like, what the f is this guy doing, bro? Like getting turnovers, and I'm looking at it like, listen. Maybe something's wrong. Like
somebody didn't cut right, the pick wasn't set right.
There's something bigger than that. Now, can we critique players? Of course. I'm not going to sit here and be like have an excuse for everything.
Yeah, stop shooting threes.
There you go. See, the man said it.
Like,
you're waiting on it.
No more pull up threes.
Yeah, no more pull up threes.
Or Russ.
If you're open, Russ, take that midi. But other than that, like again, man, like I don't know. I got a lot of respect for what these guys do. They go out there and put basically everything on the line. Like Russell
respect for the game.
Goes out and plays in front of fans that don't even respect him, and he's still out there playing hard. Like
people don't give in this generation. We knew once a player gets to a certain age or a certain amount of years,
the narrative.
We knew, okay, They're past their prime. We will respect them. We know that they're on a decline, but whatever. But in this generation, it's like, what have you done for me lately?
That's
and it's
it.
like they can't
I hate it.
like Russell was a kid when I felt like I was in college, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He was a rookie. Like,
And everybody loved Russ, bro.
Yep.
That's what makes me so frustrated.
How many iterations of OKC in different teams has he been through? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm never gonna sit here and act like he's a world beater, but I'm never gonna sit here and crap on him either. Like, he's proven what he's proven. He's earned what he's earned, and you can't take that away from no man.
You can't.
You can't. That's a measure of a man. That's a measure of a person, of a human. What
Yep.
they have produced, what they've put out there, what
His
you
work,
can look
how hard he's worked.
back on it and say it's either good or it's some trash, bro. And realistically, it's good, man. MVP, like, come on. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no matter what, every time you look up Russell Westbrook, there's going to be an MVP right there. Can't take that away from him.
And for every
can't
Russell
do it.
Westbrook, every day that he can talk to Russell Westbrook, guys, he's in a Pistons organization where we just seemingly can grow, you know, during certain eras, good guards. Like,
And
you don't think he's going to talk to Isaiah and Rip? You don't think he's going to talk to some of these guys? Like, think about it. We get even Joe Dumars out here saying, I love the Pistons. I love what they're doing.
You don't even know what they were. I mean, Russell could have been like, listen, man, Troy Weaver, y'all got a good one. I mean, he might have been talking about Troy Weaver, too.
Troy Weaver might have set that up.
Could be.
He could have been him behind the scenes.
Like,
saying,
I know
"Hey,
Russ has got a lot of respect for Troy, and Troy was a big reason why they took Russ. So, I mean, there's other things, too. People just overreact, man. That was the point I was trying to make. It's just chill on the Russell Westbrook disrespect. Please. Relax.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. But, look, I actually loved I love this episode, bro. I love that. I know we went probably a little longer, but we had the time. I like talking basketball, bro.
Yeah,
It's
just
getting
chilling.
it.
Yeah, no.
Killian conversation. I think that was it. I can't wait to get into it more. Next week, I want to get into Cade a little bit more by the month by month, and how the team won or lost based on his performance or his availability, who was there. I want to see the correlation between the full team and these guys learning a little bit of basketball and the other times.
Right.
You know, so I want to start there. But next on our list for the next two players we're going to talk about, Marvin Bagley and Hamidou Diallo for our returning players series, man. I want to get into them. I was thinking about maybe getting to Kelly Olynyk, but I feel like we know who Kelly Olynyk is.
Yeah,
he was signed to be who he is. But Hami and Marvin, these are two guys who we're hoping take another step forward. They got to improve. Mm-hmm. So you guys let us know ahead of time. First of all, let us know your areas of improvement for, you know, Killian Hayes and Isaiah Stewart. Let us know what you hope your Marvin Bagley and Hamidou Diallo. Tell us what you think they're going to improve in, where they need to improve in for this team to take the next step
I'll give you a
forward.
hint on Bagley. Defense.
We're going to get the advanced stats on those.
Oh, we're going to need it.
We're going to need
for
those.
sure.
We're going to need his defensive
sure.
metrics then. Hami, what's the secret? What's the secret there, man? What's the preview?
Man, he a dog.
looking
Probably
at
just
it now.
outside shooting.
24.7% from three.
Probably that outside shot.
24.7.
I didn't even have to look. That's just something I remember seeing, bro.
25%.
Diallo pulling up. I'm like, oh, no. And then he made it, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, we're good. And the other three he misses. Oh, shit. Those are the
Marvin. 22% for Marvin, 24, and they both took over 1.5 threes a game.
Yeah.
That is...
We'll get to it.
We're going to get to it. Hey, look. Next week, we'll have Rod Beard. We also might have a special guest whose name rhymes with what? Sprite Murtis, I guess. We'll see. He's a beat writer here in this area, but, you know, we'll see. It should be fun.
What do you say, Sprite Nerdist?
I think you guys had him on.
Yeah, I might know Sprite Nerdist.
You might.
No, he's this guy, he's a great guy, man. You guys are going to love the next episode for sure.
Yep. So
if you don't already love this episode.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope, man. Look, for Mr. Everything, Jeff Hyde Freddy over here.
Sir.
For the legend, let's get it going. Detroit News Rod Beard.
Hey, we left the black box because we
brother.
can't take it away, man. Even we could have put just a single box of me and Kool-Aid, but in honor of Rod, he's there.
Maybe I'll go
spirit.
and screen cap something and just put him in there. Like,
put a little picture of Rod in there.
I might do that. But hey, look, man, for Woodward Pistons, I'm Detroit Kool-Aid. Hey, shout out Sean Murphy. Table
Shout
Talk
out.
tomorrow, man. Y'all better tune in.
It's going to be good.
Let's rock.
How long was it?